The name of the gang is translated as cripples or lame. This is how the members of the group were nicknamed by the people because of their special manner of waddling. This criminal group was a conglomerate of street gangs, often at war with each other, but united by a common subculture and symbols. The bulk of the gang members are black teenagers who like to wear blue or purple clothes. They wrap their heads in bandanas. The year 1969 is considered the date of creation of the gang. Its founders are Raymond Washington and Stanley Williams. The latter at that time was only 16 years old. Despite his young age, he already led a small street gang of teenagers and was involved in bodybuilding. Raymond Washington was older and then led a youth gang. The guys decided to unite into one big group in order to strengthen their influence in the City of Angels. And they managed to do it. Raymond Washington was shot dead in 1979. In the same year, Stanley Williams was arrested and sentenced to death. This changed his outlook on his criminal activities. While awaiting execution, he began to write books in which he urged teenagers not to join street gangs. The sentence imposed on him by the court was carried out in 2005. During the period from arrest to execution, Williams was nominated 9 times by various public organizations for the Nobel Prize. Members of the gang they created traditionally wore blue clothes until the police crackdown began. Of the former paraphernalia, they still have British Knights brand sneakers and blue bandanas. At the very beginning of their criminal activities, the Crips positioned themselves as fighters for the interests of the poor. The gang wanted to be like the legendary Black Panthers, whose actions were driven by political motives. With romance and the struggle for social justice, Crips somehow did not work out. Their activity was reduced to the struggle for criminal influence on the streets, in which they were sometimes distinguished by unjustified cruelty. Small street gangs, fleeing the arbitrariness of the Crips, were forced to create their own temporary and permanent alliances. The majority of the members of the Crips group are African Americans. According to the FBI, the size of the gang in 2008 was approximately 35 to 40,000 people. Then it was somewhat weakened by internal criminal showdowns and external confrontation. Despite this, it did not break up and, according to various estimates, already in 2019 its number was 125 to 130,000 people. This is one of the most numerous modern gangs in America. Crime business Crips is not much different from what other U.S. criminal gangs are doing. Members of the group sell weapons and drugs, steal cars. On their account, numerous thefts, forgery of documents and other criminal activities. The main enemy and competitor of the Cripples is the African American group Bloods. Other warring factions include Neighborhood Pirates, Mara Salvatrucha, Aryan Brotherhood, Nazi Lowriders, and Serenos. Often the gangs that are part of the Crips alliance are in conflict with each other. A prerequisite for joining the Crips is the commission of a crime in front of witnesses. Girls can also become members of the gang. In order to join a gang, they need to sleep with its older members. Crips has its own alphabet. Gang members speak their own slang.